What's going on, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to read a short story called Red Roses. And guess what? It is short. It will probably only take us one day to do this. You'll see some of those vocabulary words right over there, those 13. I think you see them all actually. Yeah, they all come from this story. So you'll see all 13 from this story. And just really quickly, it's about a girl in middle school. Her name is Lila. And there's a boy named Derek. He's a little odd. He's one of those people that probably doesn't have any friends for whatever reason. It's a little bit of exposition. We're not exactly sure why. I don't know if there was one event that happened to him or just many, or he just puts off an odd feeling. And the actions he does in the story that we see are definitely odd. So let me share this with you. Boom, there we go. Red roses. And the first paragraph, I think, is absolutely true. When I was in middle school, what I wanted most was to fit in. That's all anybody wants in middle school. In middle school, you're suspicious of anyone who stands out for any reason. Derek stood out. We all avoided him. All right, I want to just talk really quickly about that paragraph and how I think it's like just an amazing opening. So there's the paragraph, but I love this sentence right here. So let me give you a little pro tip when it comes to writing. If you can have like a lot of your sentences kind of be the same length or so. So her first, I think it's 3 sentences in that paragraph. Maybe it's 2. They're about the same length. And then she hits us with a short one. Derek stood out. Like Derek stood out, that actually stands out from the other sentences. So if you can vary your sentence length when you're writing, when you want to make a point, make it a short sentence, really stands out. I think that helps. All right, next paragraph. My mom had always told us to never make fun of people. So I never did. Can't say the same for my friends. Not that they were outright mean or anything, but they'd whisper behind their hands, and it was obvious who they were whispering about. I took no part in this, as I said, but I have to admit, I steered clear of Derek, like everyone else. Despite my standoffishness, quite a mouthful there, Derek started leaving me little gifts. Every couple of days, something new, treasures out of a cereal box or a gum machine would turn up in my locker. In my desk, the pocket of my jacket. I did not acknowledge these things, and I immediately tossed them into the back of my closet when I got home. I guess I could have told my mother, but I didn't. Sometimes you have to figure things out for yourself. All right, a couple things I want to talk about here. And feel free, anytime anybody has anything, like shoot a hand up. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But the first thing, Derek, like I think in elementary school, teachers try to hey, he's kind of lonely. Why don't you hang out with him or whatever? In middle school, teachers just kind of think, well, you're old enough now, you're going to hang out with who you want to hang out with, right? Like, how embarrassing would that be if, we asked someone, hey, go hang out with that person? It's just, that's not a middle school thing. Sometimes I might do that if I think like there's a new student, you're like, oh, they might be a good match, like try to make them feel welcome. But for the most part, like, just some kids hang out by themselves. Some people like it, some people don't. But that could be kind of awkward. And then the other thing is, like, sometimes you just have to figure things out for yourself. And like as a parent and as a teacher, sometimes that happens. Like last year, you probably remember, you're at the school. I don't know if you had recess down here or not, but there was like a huge ice patch, right? And during recess, like, people were having fun. They were sliding on the ice. Like, could they have gotten hurt? Yeah. But I was kind of one of the teachers that was like, let them figure it out for themselves. I mean, it could be a lot of fun. I mean, I hope they know the inherent risk of sliding on ice. But, sometimes you just got to figure it out for yourself. Like, my wife will often argue with my kids, my own kids, especially when they were younger. Like, oh, you're going to need a jacket. You're going to need a jacket. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they will need a jacket. Maybe they won't. But sometimes you got to figure it out for yourself, right? That way you just know for the next time. Who knows? Some people just are warmer than other people. All right, but I like that line right there. Like, just sometimes you got to figure it out for yourself, right? And it works. It works better if you figure it out yourself rather than being always told. All right, the weeks passed. I continued to ignore Derek and made sure to stay out of his way. Still, the presents continued, different one each time. I resented the fact that he spent so much time thinking of ways to get my attention. Didn't he have better things to do? It is a little creepy, Derek. You're giving off some vibes right now, like maybe that's why people steer clear of you. My friends teased me. Oh, Lila has a boyfriend. Lila has a boyfriend. They sang out. Didn't seem fair. I tried so hard to fit in, to fade into the woodwork. But here I was being teased, the butt of a joke, the center of attention. One day, Derek strode up to me in the lunchroom. So this guy's got confidence. That's how it sounds, like strode up. He didn't walk meekly up. He strode up and presented me with a dozen roses. Like lunchroom, cafeteria, everybody's watching. Red, long stemmed, in a fluted paper wrapper with a note tucked inside. I know I'm not the coolest kid, but take these roses. You'll be glad you did. Yeah, definitely. I'm getting stalker vibes, right? And poor Lila. I mean, how embarrassing. Think about it. Think about, like, if there is a weird kid or whatever, please, no names, but whatever. Just that's just like, please don't be mean. Don't be mean. I think that's number 2, right? Or B, letter B. Please don't be mean. But anyways, there's the weird kids all over the place, right? And imagine that, like, just out of the blue, all of a sudden, presented with a dozen like, I feel so bad for her. I would hate that to happen to any of you, my daughter. I feel for you. Hopefully that never happens. That takes some guts. Hey, take these roses. You'll be. I should have been flattered, but I was good and angry. So this makes me think this story takes place a while ago too. A couple things, like talked about a cereal box prize. Like, they don't give out good prizes in cereal boxes anymore, do they? I don't think so. So I think this takes place a few years ago. I don't know. I'm just getting a 50s kind of feeling here. The fact that he stood there grinning lopsidedly, there's one of our words, roses in hand with that hopeful look in his eyes, made me even angrier. I wanted to squash him like a bug. Leave me alone, I growled. Don't you get it? Go away. Ooh, sang the chorus of girls. I wanted to crawl under a rock. Derek looked as miserable as I did. And then, horrors, I saw his bottom lip quiver. He looked like he was going to cry. He couldn't cry. If he cried, they'd call him a crybaby. Derek is a crybaby. Would follow him around for the rest of his life. I decided I could not let that happen. No one was going to make me, not even my friends. I took the roses. I carried them around all day. I never did talk to Derek after that. I mean, this might be our climax right here. I mean, this is a quick story, but I mean, you get a little bit of, I can pause right here. Conflict right there. I mean, it's very short, but she kind of alluded to it. Conflict right there. I'll pause it. Hopefully someone said person versus self, right? Like, she's like, oh, should I take these? Should I not? A little bit of person versus person, though. I mean, Derek is a bit of an obstacle there. He's a little bit of the antagonist. If it wasn't for him, she wouldn't be in this position. So a little bit of both there. All right. I never did talk to Derek after that day. We nodded politely to each other in the hallway, but I never pretended to like him. And he never gave me another present. Somehow we'd worked it out. I lost track of Derek when his family moved away. I guess you could I guess you could say this was the first time I did something I didn't want to do just to protect somebody else's feelings from getting hurt. Maybe you could call this growth or maturity. I honestly don't know. Even though it happened a long time ago, I can picture myself on that day, striding through the corridor proudly, the dozen roses clenched tightly in my hand, walking tall, feeling like no one could touch me. I hope you are never presented with a dozen roses in front of everybody, especially by someone that is a little bit of a stalker.